Now, we had tested the connection last night, and we ran a bunch of tests. Tim's computer was working okay, and here we are the next day, and there's some technical difficulties on his end. It's not that big of a deal. We are going to try to get him on here whenever he gets his stuff figured out, but there's a chance that Tim might not be on today, and we might have to postpone the show with him to next week. But if he does pop up, I will immediately add him to the show, which we have the ability to do, and we'll go from there. So, Gobby, how's it going?
Good, man. No complaints. Working a lot, saving money. So for me, and I'm an introvert, so for me, life is grand. No one I know is sick. No one I know is has symptoms. No one at work has symptoms. So, knock on wood. So far, so good. Hopefully, we'll get out of this mid-summer.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit before that. And, of course, it's spreading everywhere. We've got 150 or some cases like that, something like that in Manitoba now.
Yeah, but that's 2 hours worth in Mississippi. Come on, that's nothing.
Well, I get that, but our population is not. We're not densely populated, and people. We should be able to.
We will. Don't forget, people
to squash it.
The cases coming up now are the cases before quarantine, right? Before isolation, so it'll still rise for a while before it flattens out.
Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Who's this Callie? Is Callie? Who's this person? Do you know this person that's your number one fan?
No clue, man.
No clue? Am I saying that right, Callie? If I'm not, please feel free to correct me. Evan Burgoyne is in the comments section saying he's bored. And, well, let's kick it off by talking about our sponsors a little bit. We got Arm Assassin Strength Shop was our right off the top, because we also have a contest going with them where it's the best home training video. I know that I've talked to a couple of guys that are going to make submissions for that. It's for the month of April. We're going to put them all in one video and put them out here, but the winner is going to get the $50 American. So like, what is that? $80 Canadian. And to put towards anything at Arm Assassin Strength Shop. Plus, if you use the promo code ARM Crossfire, you get an additional 5% off. So that $50 American will go a whole lot further because you get to combine it with the promo code. Also, we've got Garage Door Guys in KC, Brian Kerner, and Patreon members. We talk about the Alpha Patreon members. We have 3. That's one more. We got a new one. Zane William Nisley, Jeff Frank, and Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow, Bruce. I have a good story with him. I have a good story about that guy.
Well, let's hear it, man.
So I had on Facebook, I have a hardcore sports page. It's not doing much now because of the sports are all postponed. But so there was a guy in Ontario. I forget his first name. I think from Canada, now living in Michigan. Anyway, big sports fan. And his last name is Willits. And I forget his first name. And so I kept adding him to these sports pages. And then one day my friend has a hockey pool going, so I go to add Willits, and Bruce comes up. And so I accidentally add Bruce to it, and I don't know Bruce from anything. I just know he's a player in California. And he accepts, and he enters the pool, and he ends up winning it. And I'm like, halfway through, I'm like, man, I didn't even add the right guy. But worked out for him.
Well, look at this.
Nice.
Okay. Tim Bresnan is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody.
How's your
That sucked.
How's your microphone?
Yeah, I'm good now. Got it?
Yeah, we got it now.
She signed in this morning without putting it on Chrome.
Oh, I got you.
Fucked me all up.
Okay, we got you here now, man. Thanks for coming to the show. Hey, we got our intro out of the way.
Yep. What was the intro?
Oh, just thanking our sponsors, all that kind of stuff,
So I had time anyways.
Yeah, had some time.
So what's happening, everybody?
Gobby, did you finish your story or did I
Yeah. It
completely?
wasn't very stimulating.
We're happy to have you on. Let me just reorganize the thing here so we can put you on the big screen.
How's that?
Can
Perfect.
you see us?
Yep. Sure
Right
can.
on. That's good. Okay.
We're ready.
What state are you now? Are you in Tennessee, Tim? What state are you in?
Nothing. New England's nothing selling up here. I haven't been able to sell my house up here, so can't move down there. So
Okay.
shit, this is like the worst place in states for real estate. There's nothing selling.
How about the pandemic? How's that affecting your life these days?
I don't go anywhere anyway, so I stay right home. The only place I go is work out and to Clember's house. So now it's down to working out at Clember's house, just me and him. So we don't even have practice anymore. Just me and him pull, me and him lift. Not much, and I don't even have the gym anymore. Really sucks.
So what are you doing to stay ready? Like when this is over, I mean, you have a match lined up coming up?
We got top 8 coming up. Well, it's supposed to be top 8 on June 7th against Prutnik.
Right.
But we're not even sure that's going to happen right now. They're waiting to see what happens. The travel ban's still in effect for the country, so can't even go to Europe. So, don't know.
It's going to be a while before we get all that sorted out.
I think so. I think they're going to end up having to postpone it. We'll see.
Are you able to cross into another state now? Or are you limited to your own state?
No, we're not locked down yet.
Okay.
They ask us to stay home, which doesn't
Yeah.
bother me anyway. I stay home anyway, so I stay and work on a farm all day. I don't go too many places, but I've been able to cross in Rhode Island to pick up feed for the animals, and I say I only go where I have to go. Otherwise, I stay home. You know, it's terrible.
So the way we gotta have this set up, Tim, is we got a bunch of stuff that we can probably talk to you about, but then we also have a comment section chiming in here on the side because we're actually live on YouTube.
Yep.
So we already have a question for you.
Go ahead.
And it's asking your opinion on what's going to happen between Chafee and Levon.
Chafee is probably the only one that I think will have a chance to beat Levon. That man is so strong. It's unbelievable. And he looked even better when he dropped weight. He was like almost 390 when I pulled him. But he was having trouble breathing.
Really?
Yeah. When I talked to him, we were in Malaysia. He was having trouble when we were going places. He dropped down, I think, to like 360 something when he hit Poland. He looked so much. I mean, he's so much leaner, and he looked a lot better. He looked like he was functioning a lot better. You hit that certain weight, you know that you hit a certain weight, it's too much. Yeah. I guess 400 pounds of muscle is too much. You know,
well,
he wasn't fat. That was muscle. That was a lot of muscle. You know.
Yeah, that's right. You get to a certain point and you can't function, let alone arm wrestle.
Well, I mean, I have problems. We went and saw the orangutans in Malaysia, and it took him quite a while to get up the hill. I was even up before him. We're all sitting up there waiting for him. You know, they almost had to drive down and get him.
Yeah.
You know, he was huge at that point.
So how did it come to be that Tim Bresnan never ended up really being involved with WAL, but stuck with Mazurenko and PAL?
Well, I pulled their first 4 tournaments. I took third place in their first 3.
I remember seeing you there, but you've always kind of pulled with Mazurenko.
Well, we had. I knew this was coming. The top 8. It was supposed to be the top. It started off probably two years before WAL started. But it was supposed to be top 16. Supposed to be 8 and 8. So when they called me for WAL, when I went down to New Orleans, they gave us that 2-year contract, and I was like, I can't sign that. And they're like, why not? I'm like, because I got stuff coming up, and I don't want to lie to you. You know, I can't tie myself up for 2 years. I've got things coming up overseas. So Kaplan sat down with me. We wrote out what he was going to allow me to do, if I signed his contract, and it was all PAL events. So I pulled for him for those four tournaments. I took third place in all of them. Fourth place in the first one and third in the rest of the other three. And then when it came time to pull for Mazurenko in Vegas, there was all this big uproar. I wasn't supposed to be able to do it. I signed a contract. I said, people, look at the contract. The secretary had sent me the contract, and it had you weren't supposed to pull for 2 years. And then right under it had in Kaplan's initials on it that I was allowed to pull for PAL. So when he got on he called me and he said, no, that's not right. I'm like, dude, either I can be able to pull like you said, or I'm done with WAL. So done with WAL.
So did they tried to stop you?
Yes.
Did they successfully stop anyone else?
They didn't. No, the other Christian left them. Dave, I'm not sure what's going on with Dave. Dave's supposed to be pulling with us now, so obviously he broke a contract. I
can tell you that the contracts right now are way different than they started out.
Wow, what are they saying now?
My contract was an appearance it was a waiver. It wasn't a contract. So there was a period there's not really a likeness signing over a period of time. I can kind of do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only a few guys that they really have locked up. Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Todd still has the ability to pull outside the WAL season anywhere he wants.
Well, we were all supposed to have the ability to pull overseas, but they stopped. They stopped Dave. And after Devin pulled that one time with Dennis, they stopped Devin from pulling. The contract. I mean, how can you have a contract you don't even have a copy of?
Well, yeah, and Devin eventually did pull Dennis, so I'm not sure what happened there, if he had special permission or what.
But after that, it was after that. We come up to top 8 after that the next year, and none of them were allowed to pull.
Right.
So I don't know if Kaplan didn't like the fact that he got tore up by Dennis, which I mean that was just as bad as when Levon pulled me. It was holy shit, couldn't move him. I think I moved Levon more than Devin moved Dennis.
Yeah.
But it wasn't much, but it was a little bit more. That was incredible. I've never pulled that. I've never grabbed up on anybody that strong.
Wow. So does Mazurenko not have contracts or anything like that?
Nope.
It's just kind of handshake deals and away you go.
The handshake, the agreement we have with him, because he doesn't want anyone's getting hurt. He doesn't want to He doesn't want to promote us for a year, or while the tournament's going on, and then all of a sudden one of us gets hurt. So say me and you were in, and get down. Me and you on the 1 and 2 going into the end, and all of a sudden you break your thumb. So what he asked us to do is while the top 8's going on, he asked us not to pull anything else.
That's fair.
That's what he asked us. That's what he asked us last year, and I'm assuming it's the same thing this year. I'm just there's too much money. I've been offered a couple of super matches, but there's too much money to risk. Anything. You don't ever know what's going to happen. You break a pinky. I mean, I dislocated my thumb pulling Trubin on his first match. Never did anything like that before. My whole top of my thumb was turned sideways. By the third round, if you watch, I walk over, took a towel, wrapped around my hand, and snapped my thumb back in place. But how do you arm wrestle with no thumb? But he was unbelievably strong. But it just nothing I could do. I held him. That's it. I held him. That's basically all I could do with him. I couldn't rotate. I couldn't do anything.
So one of the things I'll get to my question, but I wanted to ask you a little bit about Vovoda, because I hadn't talked to you since that match had happened.
Yeah.
What are your Jody Williams asks, what are your thoughts on the new version of Prudnick?
Which new version?
The one that we currently see.
Wait a minute. Which one? The one we saw last year, or the one we saw with Dave at the preliminaries, or the one we're seeing now?
Probably the one we're seeing now.
Because there was 250-pound Prudnick last year. Then when Dave went and pulled his preliminary match, Prudnick was 104, 103 kilos. And now I think he's back up to 110 kilos in a month or a month and a half. I mean, I don't know which one I'm gonna face. He says he's going to 110 kilos to destroy me.
Jody says the plump version, so I guess the 110 kilo one.
I just saw a picture of him this morning. It's like compared to a month and a half ago, when he was very slender. Seriously, it's almost like looking at you and Gabi right now, him and what he was when Dave was over there pulling. Seriously. I saw the picture of him and Dave. I'm like, holy shit.
He's 3 feet shorter?
Well, I'm talking about facial reg,
2.5.
10 kilos lighter, 8 kilos light. How do you gain 8 kilos in a month of muscle?
I have no idea, Tim. How do you do that?
I don't know. I've been trying to do that for a long time. I can gain 20 pounds in 2 months, but it ain't all muscle,
Yeah.
But this thing really screwed us up because I was training, lifting 4 days a week for 2.5 hours and training for 3 hours on every Saturday. So I was only off 2 days. And I was feeling real good. And now it's slipping a little bit because Ron's almost 40 minutes or 50 minutes away from me. So when I drive up to his house, it's a 45-minute trip. So once, twice a week we've been lifting, limited in his garage. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope they give me a little bit of time, when they postpone it.
So we going back to this, Evan asked a question he's talking about for the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's only with the hand you're using, right? So can the athletes in the top 8 pull left hand anytime they want outside of PIL? Or would it be a question for Igor maybe?
That's probably, to me, that's not even a question for me. I can't pull left, I might be able to pull a friggin' novice girl left-handed, about all I can pull left. My left's terrible. I mean, when I got sick, I stopped training my left hand. I mean, I stopped doing any single arm curls or anything like that left-handed because I couldn't spare the time. I only had like 45 minutes to train with, and I was wasted. So I just stuck strictly right-handed.
Yeah.
So my left arm's wasted away over the last 6 years.
So when was the last time you pulled a major event in the United States?
2 years ago, I pulled the USA. I pulled the last USAA national.
Okay.
That was that time I pulled in the US.
Did anybody hang you up?
No. Mike Todd pulled left-handed masters. I pulled right-handed, and really nobody. There was decent pullers there, but nobody above that level.
Okay. So how long ago did you pull Alexei Vovoda? And if I'm not mistaken, that was like the last time he pulled, right?
Yeah, that was the last time he pulled. That was 2015. He's got it. Okay, I believe you. Yeah. They had a whole movie they were doing about him.
I hope the finish of the movie wasn't supposed to be him winning.
It was definitely supposed to be him beating me. It was $80,000 worth of film they had to throw away. They
never put out the movie.
They put the movie. I guess they put the movie out, but the ending was supposed to be him coming back to arm wrestling, beating me.
They should have picked a lesser opponent.
Well, he thought I was, But they were all vegan doing the film. They were talking to me, all happy. I told them, I said, it's gonna be tough to edit out 6 losses. And they laughed. They laughed about it. So then at the end, it was only 5. He beat me once. He followed me out in the second round, I think. And I apologized to the guys. They wouldn't even talk to me. They wouldn't look at me. They walked away. They wouldn't even talk to me anymore.
Well, they're mad at you.
Oh God, yeah.
For doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, they would not even talk to me. They all walked away.
Oh,
they even wanted more because they knew I was a beef. I farm beef, and they're all vegans. they found out at the press conference that I have a beef farm. Oh God, don't you know you can substitute? I'm like, well, why? You know, beef is tasty. They all got pissed at me. You know me. Once you get a chance to bust somebody's balls, it was pretty good.
Now, Gabi, are you vegetarian?
I socially I'll eat whatever people like. If I'm at your place and you make me whatever, I'll eat whatever. But I don't buy animal products. I don't buy meat or dairy. Only when I go out socially, I'll eat what's presented to me. But on my own, I don't buy that stuff. I've just never had. I understand Tim's position. I've just never had a craving for meat. I can go even when I was younger, I was able to go weeks and months without meat, dairy. I never had a thing for dairy. So for me, it just made sense. It's cheaper to eat. I heal better. But going back to that match with Tim, man, he was such a massive underdog, and Vovoda coming back, it was so heralded, and what an embarrassing. I was there that day. I was in Vegas that day. I had a match with Vazken, and I watched that match, and I was so man, it was just embarrassing to a certain extent. But man, Tim was such an underdog that day, and I can see them, tucking tail and running off because I'm sure they were positive that win was a formality, but it wasn't the case.
Well, had it not been for Pete Milano, it probably would have been, because he came back when he heard about the match. He comes back and he tells me, he says, you need to start your side pressure. You need to learn how to hook. I said, well, I hook. He says, no, you need to learn how to hook well. I said, well, I don't hook often. I can hook if I have to, if I get drove into it, but I never like to. So me and Pete, he came back and worked strictly side pressure with me for a couple of months. And he told me, he says, listen, you guys are going to hit right in the middle of the table and stop. And it's whoever got a better position is going to win, because you pull the same way. He said, you're both about the same strength. I think he was 260 or 265 when he came back. He was lean. He was very lean.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked real good. He was doing some stuff for the circus that he was laying flat on the ground, like lifting his whole body with his hands over his head. It was incredible. I've never seen anybody do that before. But first match, hit dead in the middle of the table and stopped. I said, oh, he had it. He had it right on the button. And I just let him work me into a hook. I didn't try to force it. That's why I kept looking like I was losing. I kept dropping and dropping and dropping. Every time I drop a little bit, I'd let it go into a hook a little bit more. And then once it was in, I turned and went. I don't think he knew I don't even think he knew what was going on at that point.
And did he kind of it looked like the wind got completely taken out of him in the next matches?
Well, he won the first match I won.
Right.
That way. The second match he followed me. I pulled too hard back. And he was like jumping off the front of the pad on the beginning of on the match. And I went off the back. Of course, they saw me on the camera, which is fine. So I followed out the second match. Then after that, I was just very conscious of what my elbow was. Like when he was jumping up and down, screaming about my elbow, I was directly looking at my elbow to make sure it stayed on the edge of the pad. So I knew it didn't. I knew it hadn't gone off.
Yeah.
That was amazing, because you have two polar opposite type arm wrestlers. You have Tim, who's like, the template for the American arm wrestler, just a lot of table time, has a history of grinding matches and being in long matches and pulling out hard, tough wins. And then you have this super elite athlete that can do jumping, has the agility of a gymnast at 280 pounds. And, he's ripped and he just couldn't out arm wrestle you. He didn't have the arm wrestling strength, and he didn't have the IQ on the table, the adjustability to beat you. And it was just two totally polar opposite schools of thought when it comes to arm wrestling training. And the traditionalists won out. But that was an amazing match.
Well, I tell you, he's not as loved as he thinks he is over in Russia. I've never told anybody this, but I was getting film of his training sessions left and right.
Really?
They were sending me. Don't tell anybody, and he'd send me. I was getting film that nobody even saw before, and it was by 10 different people. It wasn't just one or two people. They tell him he wasn't as loved as he thinks he was, or I'm loved more for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because you don't look like the elite athlete. You're coming off Lyme disease. You don't look like a fucking elite athlete, and you're just a traditional arm wrestler, and you have a big following. And I know you get into it on Facebook with a lot of people, but you got to be one of the most respected arm wrestlers on the planet, maybe. And what I find is the most telling thing about an arm wrestler, I don't care who he is or where he's from, is what happens after he takes a massive loss. And he was gone. Like if you would have lost, you would have popped back. I've taken losses, I popped back, but he was gone. Like that was his, and you could almost tell he was so discouraged that was his swan song. He was going to go into complete retirement after that. Yep. So his comeback was one match, one super match, got beaten, and then he's gone.
And I'm like, it was for his TV show. It was for his movie. That's the reason he came back.
Yeah.
You know.
And so how much does a guy love arm wrestling? How much does a guy is committed to arm wrestling or his passion for arm wrestling when he can just fade away permanently after a loss? I always find that so telling of a person's character.
Well, look at Dennis right now. I mean, I spent a lot of time with Dennis and his people in Poland, and he said they were waiting for the doctors to tell him whether he come back or not. And the things I've been seeing of him, he looked like he's coming back. And how do you come back from blowing both arteries in your kidneys? You know, blowing two main arteries. He almost died because they misdiagnosed what happened.
Well, didn't you almost die? Weren't you on death's bed with your Lyme disease?
Yeah, I wasn't doing too good. Yeah, my organs, my kidneys had failed. The Lyme affected my brain. It got into my brainstem. Instead of being like everybody else where it hit your knees or your elbows or something else, it hit me major. I only had it for less than 10 days, and it just attacked my brain. It paralyzed my face. It really fucked me up for a while. I was when I went back to the gym, I was getting less than 40 minutes, and I was like I can equate it to being drunk. I would get, the more I'd work out, the drunker I'd get, and I don't drink. I can't even touch the stuff anymore. Well, I did with the Russians, but that was because they made me.
Gotcha.
It's part of life.
Don't drink with the Russians, dude. Do not drink with the Russians, especially if you don't drink. Oh my God, those boys pound on vodka. But
do you think that Voivoda would have done better? And this is a controversial question. If he would have followed the same kind of training and diet that he did back when he was in like the 2003 era of Voivoda, like if you look at the Pulling John video, like they're big meat eaters and they're doing all kinds of. Like,
he was over 300 pounds, wasn't he, or close to 300 pounds when in Pulling John? That
yeah, I think at the end he was, yeah,
he was pretty big. He's not a total vegan. I don't care what they say, because I watched him eat in Poland that year. The year before I pulled him and Lottie Cup, he was a guest. I watched him eat every morning. He ate cheese. He did dairy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a total, hardcore vegan. Those cheese blintzes, he had 2-3 on his plate every morning. So most vegans are that way. They'll tell you what not to eat, and then they eat this. They got their little special thing they eat. Whatever.
And I gotta ask you, you talked about Pete Milano, kind of maybe one of the most underrated guys for analyzing matches.
Yes.
Or what people should do. Where is he?
He's about a mile from my house.
So what's he doing with himself these days? Is he still following the sport? What's he up to?
I think he follows it at a distance. He goes back and forth from being a phone expert to driving Uber. He's him and his wife are Buddhists now.
Okay.
Which totally flipped me out. I tried to cut his ponytail off, but he was a little faster than me that day. Now he's actually got his life pretty well square. His kids are all grown up and doing their thing, and he lives probably. I could walk to his house in less than 10 minutes from my house. He lives the next town over. I talk to him often, but I don't see him very often. Both, especially now, we definitely don't. He's driving Uber, and I don't want to go near anybody. Anybody that goes near anybody else, I'm trying to stay away from.
Yeah, exactly. Did he weigh in on your match with Prudnik yet? The upcoming one?
I don't think he will. He usually doesn't. Now he might hit it at the end. Maybe give me a little advice. But Prudnik's he's not a strict hooker anymore. He was doing a lot of top rolling last year, especially with like Angombayev.
Yeah.
You couldn't really tell with what he was doing with Babayev because he dominated Babayev. You know, Babayev he's a very strong dude, but his arms are too short for a super heavyweight. You know, that's just all you had to do was stretch him out. You know, and he just didn't have the strength to pull you back in. You're at the end of his reach. You know, he's got a good chance. He's got a good chance of finishing pretty high, I think, in the 95 class. He'll do well there. All depends on how John is, what shape John's in.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think John's going to do?
He wasn't really working out when it was put to him, and we were in China when it was put to him. I was there when they offered it to him, and then he asked me about it. I'm like, dude, 50 grand's a lot of money. 50 grand to win a tournament's a lot of money. Because they pay for everything. I mean, I actually got in trouble from Anna Mazarenko for paying for a cab. You know, she comes over to pay for it. She's like, I was like, I already got it. It was like $2. You know, it was nothing. Whatever. She actually got mad at me for paying for it. So she when she's there, you don't pay. We don't pay for anything. They bring us to dinner. They everything they pay for. You know, so it's kind of a no lose situation for you. They pay for your flight. They pay. I mean, I fly. I won't fly. I can't fly strict coach because of my knees. You know, I got a 30-hour flight to most of these places. So I upgrade to like just below business class, so I have a little leg room. And I mean, I was paying $1,800 to $2,000 for flights. Not a peep out of them. They never said a word to me. Okay, paid me my money when I got there, and we're for the flight, and we're good. You can't lose. I mean, does WAL pay for your flight?
I can tell you what they did for me. Like, they paid my travel, so yeah, they did pay it. But I mean, if I upgraded to business class, they probably would have an issue with that. They give you a set amount, so you get a set amount of money to get there, and then basically a travel stipend, and then a set amount of money to compete, and a bonus to win.
Well, when think about it, where you're flying from to Chicago, how long? 4 hours? 5 hours?
3 or 4 hours, yeah.
I was 30 hours to Malaysia, 31 hours to Malaysia, and 29 hours home. China was even more. And if I'd have flown coach, I mean, I flew Emirates Airlines, which is, I mean, absolutely beautiful. These planes are like fit for kings. Even a coach, I probably would have been okay, or I think I might have been okay in coach, but those planes were beautiful.
Well,
I mean,
it's different over there.
I'll tell you, we were supposed to go to Malaysia for the first round again. And I was going to bring my wife with me because Malaysia is if you ever get a chance to go. Borneo is absolutely beautiful. The people are they treat you like gold over there. You know what I mean? They're absolutely great people. We had these kids that were just sitting in the lobby waiting for us to want to go somewhere with cars. Yeah. And they were begging us, hey, let's bring you here, let us bring you there. No shit. They absolutely great. They treated us over there. China, I can't say the same for, but Malaysia was beautiful. Absolutely.
Well, I hope everything opens back up. I hope to experience that. And one of the things I wanted to do was to go over to Zloty Tour and pull in that tournament.
I think you do. I think you do well. I want to pull in the Zloty Tour. He's by doing his top 8, he's basically taking out the top tier in the Zloty Cup. He's giving other people a chance to win. You know what I mean?
And there's a path. There's a path to get into the top 8.
Yeah. But if you win your weight class, I think if you win your weight class or you win the open class, which is the actual Zloty Cup afterwards, you get a chance to fight your way into the top 8. How can you beat that? It's one of the few things that's merit based in this sport.
That's true. That's what the criticism is of the World Arm Wrestling League is there's no clear path to the league.
No. Well, how many times have they had friggin' shows on TV, and who's been on the shows almost every time? You know, seriously, Devin right now is huge. He's what, 280, 285? It's absolutely monstrous. And they put Wagner Bordelais against him. Wagner's a great puller, but there ain't no way he's going to beat Devin at 280 pounds. You know, that's a tough mountain to climb. You know, he was. Come on, and then that stupid that Kings. I don't know how you guys feel about that Kings move, but that's just. It's now illegal in the IFA. I don't know who you guys are. You guys still pulling with the WAF or the IFA?
No. Canada's with IFA now.
Yeah, Canada has voted.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. I mean, Christ, even the WAF even tried to screw friggin' Pickney. How the hell do you screw Pickney? The Canadians aren't going to screw Pickney. You know, have you guys pulled any of the IFA events?
Not yet.
Basically, the only rule difference is the Kings move. The Kings move is actually a foul.
Really?
Yeah, you get.
I did not know that.
Yeah, WAF. The WAF, you can keep going down under the table, and they just keep warning you.
Yeah.
In the IFA, you go down under the table, they warn you to stand up. If they warn you a second time through that whole match, it's a foul. So, no more under the table.
Nice.
You know, definitely.
So, go ahead, Gobby.
When it eventually happens, who do you like between Devin and Michael Todd?
I think Devin now at his present weight, I think it's going to be tough for Mike to beat him.
Mm.
I think when Devin beat Mike before, he was what, 250, 255. Then he dropped down to the 220s for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back up, you know you're not as strong when you first put the weight back on. He's been at this weight for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So I don't think Devin's pride can let him lose again.
No.
Well, we'll have to see, but I don't think Devin's pride can let him lose again. You know, it's not going to let it. He's going to win this next one. Yeah, I think so anyway.
So?
I think so.
Now, if that happens, do you think we're done for a while, or will it just be a rubber? Well, I guess this technically is the rubber match.
Well, how many times? It's WAL. I don't think anybody's been beating Mike for a while, have they?
No, not for a long time. I mean, there's the Jerry match that
It was bullshit.
Yeah, but that's it.
That was. I thought Jerry did very well in that match. I think stopping the match they should have stopped the match rather than stopped it and called it. You know, I mean, one finger's. I mean, technically it's still contact, but come on.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen a match called because I've got a hold of somebody's one finger? They'll call the match so you don't break the guy's finger.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not the rule, but that's just the rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see somebody get hurt.
No.
You know, so I don't know. We were supposed to go. We had a big tournament we were supposed to go do down in Pennsylvania at the end of this month, but they moved that to the 10th of June. So I'm waiting to see what's going on for that. Because either if I go overseas, I won't be able to go to that one. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping they give me a month back to the gym. I hope they wait till everything opens back up. A month back to the gym, I should be doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Well, they canceled our nationals in Canada.
Yep.
So everything pretty much right up until the end of July for events has been canceled or postponed.
Well,
so they're going to do it.
And I had a super match canceled in August already.
With who?
Cody Merritt.
Oh my, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the promoter is postponing the match.
Where was that at?
South Dakota.
That'd be a nice trip. Oh, right at the Black Hills.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a nice. That'd be a nice trip. But now, what are you guys going to do? I think that we're going to do in this country is do the same thing they did last year. Is everybody's invited to pull the Worlds. If you want to go, you just call, and because they had to cancel so many events. You know,
I think you just go. I think you just.
Well, you have to. Yeah, we have to call. If we want to go, we have to call Denise. Say, hey, I want to go, just like they did last year. Hey, I want to go to Worlds.
Yeah.
Worlds. I mean, last year even at Lottie, it was put together so quick. Still had a really good showing. Great tournament. You know.
The only thing Canadians have to do if they want to go is buy the shirt.
Well, I mean, you would have liked. They even had the water. First time I've ever seen water representatives show up at a world championship. Water representatives were at the IFA. So,
well, which is really odd because Murcha has been claiming online that the IFA tests are fake.
Well, you want to talk to friggin' how are they fake?
I don't know.
Were they fake at WAF too? How they tested?
WAF are claiming they do out of meat testing because they pluck guys out of the weigh-in lineup. They're calling that out of meat testing. So it's not like USADA where they can show up at your door and say, "This in this cup, we're testing you."
They can.
But,
yes.
But whoever is testing at WAF, which is I think is WADA, are not. They're just plucking guys from the lineup and making claims about it.
They can't do that. They have to have like a set way that they do things. They got to first of all they got to tell you they're gonna tell you they're testing. You can't go to an event and there's all of a sudden they pop it on you because you could be taking cough syrup that screws you. You know what I mean? You could be. I mean, how many guys you know smoke weed? That weed is a PED.
But haven't you heard of the stories of like John Jones where they show up at his gym and he hides underneath the ring until they go home?
Yeah, John Jones. The axe murder ran out the back door.
Yeah,
I hear about that. But they tested Herman Stevens in Poland.
Yeah, Herman talked about that. Yeah,
of all people to test Herman Stevens. The worst one I've ever seen was WAF in Japan in 2005. They tested you left-handed, and then they tested you right-handed. What did he take a bunch of? I'm thinking, what the fuck did he do? Take a bunch of juice the night before?
Well, what they did was they called it off. Like they said,
did they?
Yeah, they didn't make me do the second test. They said we already tested you, so you're off the hook.
But they wasted the pick. They could have tested somebody else.
Yeah.
They still held you up because you didn't make it. You didn't even I don't think you got to eat at the banquet, did you? There's no food by the time you got there, so they held you up.
Yeah.
You know, which was bullshit. Food was really good. I hate to tell you, but I was like, when they did that to you, I was like, that's just stupid. You know, they test you twice. All of us know that you're not. You know, of all people in the world, you're not on juice. And there was somebody else there. Loved the guy to death. He's a good guy. You know, but the German giant there.
Oh, Smeasel. Yeah.
Smeasel, come on, dude. You should have tested him at least once. You know, it's crazy. What they told me, because they told me was that even at the events, if any of us that showed up like from Zloty Cup or from Top 8, they could have if our federation said to test that guy, they could test us. You know,
really?
Yeah. Well, so I don't think you are. Are you a member of a federation?
Not right now.
Okay, so we don't have a federation that we're members of. Well, like Georgia, they're actually members of their federation.
Okay.
So they're actually told where they can't go. So if they say test this guy, Water can walk right over to them if they're sitting in the audience, pull them and test them. Where like we don't have ours between us and Canada is a little different. Where we're not really a member of a federation. We have a federation. They can't order our testing. They can't say go test Gabi. You know, Gabi can look at them, go pound sand. You know, I ain't going. I'm watching the match. Leave me alone. Well, they can't. They can be kicked out of their federation and not be able to pull anymore.
Well, when I was in Turkey in 2018, when I finished on the podium with the Masters, I walked off the stage and I was expecting to go up and pull the card or do whatever they do for testing. And we all walked off the stage and they go, "No, you guys can go. We ran out of tests." So,
you know, they're doing some crap in the WWF in the United States. The USAF is total bullshit. You know, I got into it with him a couple of times. I don't know if Chris got into it with them about the way they screwed up our federation.
You talking about Simon?
Yeah. He supposedly he owns a testing company. He took the tests, which I don't think he's qualified for. You know what I mean? He took the money for it. his family's a member. His family's the board. Come on, guys. You can't just disband the whole board. You can't just kick them out. But that's the way it happened. That's where they pushed for the. That's when the 6 kings of the WAF took over everything. Which is total shit. They left it wide open. They kept pushing. They kept pushing and pushing. They left it wide open for another federation to walk right in. They pissed too many people off.
Well, it was bound to happen. I mean, cutting Igor out of everything was just the weirdest thing for them to do.
Igor pays for almost the whole friggin' Polish World WAF Championship. He pays for it out of his own. He sponsors it out of his own pocket. I mean, he's buying the Mazurenko equipment is what, don't mention Simon. Why don't mention Simon? Is he going to jump on? I'll mention Simon and me don't get along very well. I've had little questions about, but no, you can't just they snatched the world from us a couple years back.
I remember that.
Then they snatched the world from Poland. How can you just and people get all set up, ready to go? How do you just take it from them?
We had Jody says the USA doesn't have a date, location, venue for nationals as of yet. Go figure. So that would be the.
Yeah, they do. It's in DC. USA, last I heard, was supposed to be in DC, or right outside of DC, which is like the most expensive place in the world to go.
And that would be the WAF qualifier?
Yes. That's the last I heard. It was supposed to be in DC. Simon was sponsoring it himself.
I think the whole pandemic thing actually gives IFA a bit of an edge here because we didn't really have a qualification process in place yet, so they don't have anything to waive. They can just say, come one, come all, and let's have the tournament.
Well, that's what they did for everybody last year. There is no, like, WAF has a 2-person per week class.
Yeah.
IAF for the last 2 years hasn't had that.
So this year will be the same thing, I imagine.
It was going to be anyways.
Yeah.
At least with us, it was going to be. I know, well, we're us the same for everybody else.
Well, that's right. Canada was going to do a qualifier, but anybody could go by virtue of going to your nationals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they did what they were going to do. They weren't going to do another national. They were going to do 4 qualifiers. USAF was going to do. USAA was going to do 4 qualifiers, and all over the country. That way, everybody didn't have to pay to go to East Coast, go to the West Coast, West to the East Coast. Everybody had a qualifier closer to home, and all you had to do was go and pull, and you were qualified, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of all of the people getting put on that, whatever the hell it was, not in good standing list, but the fact that they left out all of you guys in the top 8?
I didn't get put on. Yeah, I know. I didn't get put on. I figured I would be the first one after busted Simon's balls all that time, but I don't know. I think that's the one thing that pushed them over the edge. When people just said, "The hell with these," they put. No, there was Vitali was on not good standings list. He was put on it by the Russian Federation. As far as I understood, the WAF was a coward and let their own federations put them on the no good standing list.
Yeah.
So the WAF really didn't do it. That's what they were pissed at Pickney for, not putting some of the guys on the not good standings list, because he wouldn't do it. The guys that went to China, or went to Poland, that he was supposed to go on it, but they wouldn't put him on it either. So,
well, they tried to make the whole Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation executive put Rick on it at one point, and we said no.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They tried to get us to ban our own president.
How do you ban the president?
They tried. And there was people in Canada that actually argued for that.
Who? Really?
I don't want to talk about it. God, but you can if you want.
Well, It's not so much trying to ban a president. Who the fuck tries to ban Rick Pickney? I don't think anyone on the planet doesn't like Rick Pickney. If you really, I mean, Rick Pickney is like the salt of the earth. I love Rick Pickney, and I hate everyone.
Me too.
So,
I mean,
it's crazy.
He's one of the few referees in the world that I can honestly say I have never seen him screw somebody at all.
But
ever.
even if he did, he's a remarkable ref, but he's also just an honest, genuine dude, right? Who literally loves the sport. Isn't selfish, isn't a narcissist. Just a great guy all around. And yes, a fantastic, if not one of the best refs on the planet for sure.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with him in China. Me and him ate breakfast together every morning, and he was my referee. He actually, I could say, no, he actually screwed me in China. he called. He meant to call the other. He meant to call Rustam for a foul, and he called me, and I looked at him like, me? He's like, yes, you. And he came to me later on. He says, I don't know why I called you. He said, I was trying to. You just came out of my mouth. I said, yeah, but I even asked you. He said, yeah, I don't know. He said, I just had like a brain fart. I'm like, no big deal. It is what it is. But, they come to, he was laughing about it. I'm like, why you call me? Yep, you. I'm like, okay, whatever. But it's honestly, I don't. He's great. He does a lot for the sport. He's done a lot for the sport, and
Yeah. What do you think of Well, do you think the PAL is going to have any left arm events at any point in the future?
Yes.
I think we were talking about it, right?
Yes. So right now, there's the 95 key and the Supers key. I believe the next one's either going to be left-handed or women's. Interesting. So I'm not sure. This is what I hear. Things change all the time, but this is what I hear. So Igor will make that decision. I guess he usually makes decisions on who makes how can I say it? Who makes a splash in the sport. So Ryan Espy comes out and just starts smashing everybody left-handed. But you're the best. You're the cake. So maybe we'll go left-handed on that. Or you got some girl that comes out and starts smashing everybody. Whoever makes the biggest show of it. That's what he needs. He needs a show. He needs people to watch.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, if I ever get the opportunity.
That's what I always tell people. If you want to get into, either go to Zloty Cup or beat somebody that you're not supposed to beat, and make a big show about it.
Yeah. But, Cobby, what you got?
I wanted to ask Tim, you're training for Prudnik.
Oh, yes.
Does it change anything on your approach when you pulled Rustam? Because they're a little bit different, or is your training, no matter who you pull, identical? Your prep identical?
Yeah, a lot of my training is pretty standard for me.
Okay.
But I trained for Rustam. When I pulled Rustam last time, the first time we pulled, it was fouls,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't usually foul, and we couldn't stop it. It was just one run after the other. So I just said if I couldn't keep control of it, I was going to stretch him out and sit there and wait for a little bit, let him tire out, so I didn't have to go so far back. And he got very, very short arms, so that's what I trained for, was just to sit back and stretch him out. Prudnik's arm's a little bit longer than that, and he pulls a little bit different. So I don't think that's not going to be an option with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. He's tough right now because he used to before. He used to just hook, so it was kind of easy to start training where I know where I was going to grab him. Now I'm not sure where I'm going to grab him.
Mm-hmm.
I grab low anyways, but certain people, depending if he comes at 260 pounds, I'm not going to grab him around the wrist.
Is there any situation or any opponent where you do cap your thumb? I've never seen you cap your thumb.
No, never. I really can't anymore.
Okay.
I stopped doing it back 07, I think, or 08. I stopped capping at the Nationals. I practiced for a whole year without capping at practice. And then I just decided I went to one of the Nationals, and I'm like, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. Because I was getting crappy wrist grips.
Yeah.
I'd get like a half a finger on, and it was a bad. I couldn't get a good rest grip. So I said, to hell with it, I'll go up and under. And it actually gives me more control, I think.
It does.
And
Yeah.
then I started grabbing low all the time. It makes people feel more comfortable. They don't fight for a grip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's Ryan told me I grab almost straight across with my knuckles are pointed straight at my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do all my adjustment after they go. That way, nobody fights for the grip. They think they're in a good place, and then if no one's fighting for that big high grip, I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah. The thumb cap thing is the same reason that I stopped doing it, is because I can't get a good referee's grip with the right hand ever.
Well, think about some of these guys got hands that are like freaking catcher's mitts. I don't. I have a very small hand. Plus, my hands all bent up and screwed up from arm wrestling, and my fingers don't go straight anymore. So I can't get a good ref grip unless I go low and under. You know. So
as far as training philosophies go, what is your kind of split between gym and table time?
We do. I work out I work out with this really small kid. He's a good friend of my son's. I started him out. He was 155 pounds a little over a year ago. I got him about 185 pounds now. All natural. No, this kid doesn't do drugs, doesn't do anything. All natural. We were doing like an hour, 20 minutes when we started a year ago. Now I'm up to almost 2 hours, a little over 2 hours we can get of just hard lifting 4 days a week. And then I skip Fridays, and Saturday we pull all day Saturday, and then Sunday I take off. The rest is all, then I got the farm anyways where I'm lifting bales and, carrying 40-pound buckets around, 3-4 fucking buckets at a time. So, I mean, I'm always moving, always working, or trying to anyways. I feel good. It really sucks. I felt really good. The lifting this time, I felt really good, strong. My weights were going way up, back to where they were before. And then they cut us out of the gym, which sucked.
Yeah.
So Ron's got a rack, but he's got he's got a good gym for being at home, but it's nothing like a real gym, So
yeah, kind of the same. Well, some of us have good home gyms, but everybody's kind of struggling.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we just cut off all the practices. We started talking, and people not paying attention to the rules. So we just cut off all practices for the next month or so. So shit's over. Just me and him are going to practice. Because he's not even seeing his clients on face to face anymore. He's on a computer with them. He's doing like face talk to his clients now. That's what they want him to do. So he's not even seeing anybody either. So
yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is.
So I got to ask a question. I saw that you got involved at a bit of a heated exchange not that long ago with Tank online over an incident at a tournament. Am I getting this right, Gabi?
I think he put his hands on
Milk Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. Milk Christmas makes Gabi look like a monster. He's like 125 pounds, and he's like 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the match, and then he pushed Milk Christmas. He didn't turn and push the 250-pound head ref. He turned and pushed 80-year-old Mitch. Oh no, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That'd be like somebody pushing Rick Pickney with all you guys around,
And he lost. And Tank lost his shit too. I saw the video. Like, he was looking to hurt him. He lost his shit.
Oh, he was. But he was definitely in a bad position. Both referees were going to stop it. Milt was just the one that got there first. They both reaching for him. And then to put your hands in, he said, I apologize. I'm like, yeah, that's not, dude, I would have kicked you the fuck out on the spot. You would have been walking out the door. I mean, I don't kick people. I kicked the guy out of a national championship. And the guy's actually a friend of mine. He got stupid with one of the referees, and he got real personal with him. I just told him if he didn't shut up, he was out. He kept yakking him. I said, you're done. You're out. I told friggin' Leonard, I said, he's done. Kicked him out. He wasn't able to pull the rest of the tournament. I mean, there's only so far you can go with a referee. You can tell him you don't like that call. A lot of calls you don't like. You're an asshole. You call the wrong call and walk away. Or something. That's fine. I don't care about that shit. Or you don't know what you're doing. Okay, whatever. But don't get personal. Definitely don't put your hands on a referee. We can't get enough good referees as it is.
Yeah,
it's scared of the referee. Milk Christmas. I mean, Milk Christmas has spent time. He spent fucking holidays at my house. You know, we're like really good friends. And even James Rederitas, who's I guess trains with Tank, told him, "So, oh, you put your hands on Milk? Well, you stupid." You know, that guy. Everybody loves Milk Christmas. So
Yeah.
you just don't.
Now,
do that.
Did you have a problem with him online, or were you actually there live at the tournament?
Oh no! If I'd have been live at the tournament, it'd been a bigger problem.
Yeah,
It'd been a real. I would have hit the stage. That's. I just saw. I was watching the match. I thought it was a decent match, and he went into a break arm. They stopped it. All of a sudden, I see him start yelling at Milt. Why would you not yell at the head referee?
Mm-hmm.
You yell at Milt. You know, Milt's 120 pounds, 80 years old.
Yeah.
You know, the head referee was God, I can't pull his name out. He's from New Jersey. Good size. Paul Walter.
Oh,
Why'd you got to Paul Walter? You know, what do you do? Pick the little 120-pound, 80-year-old man over Paul Walter? Go after Paul Walter. I wouldn't have said nothing. You know, Paul can stick up for himself.
So, what do you think of this philosophy that some of the pros have come out with, that a professional arm wrestler should be allowed to break his arm if that's what he chooses to do?
I hate to say it, but if you pull PAL, that's actually said to you at the beginning of the tournament.
There is no break arm position.
There will be no break arm position called. They said the last rule they say at the Body Cup is you're a professional. You should know where and where not to be. You will not stop the match. I've only seen one or two broken arms in Slotty Cup. Not too many.
Yeah.
You know, but they'll tell you that right off the bat. You know, don't go in a break arm. They won't stop it. Not supposed to. But
yeah, I completely agree with that. Unless the break arm position, you're under the table. But other than that, I got no beef with that. The break arm issues with novices and people starting off that you don't want to see. The guy's 20 years in, 10 years in, breaks his arm. I mean, you can be sure he has no regrets, right? He's accountable, and you know, it's no big deal.
My son broke his arm 2 years ago, and I don't even know how the hell. I think he broke it I think he had a slight fracture from pulling a month before. He told me his arm was. Yeah.
That was at New England, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was standing right there, didn't see it break. I mean, I thought it was just a slip, and everybody's yelling.
Wasn't he, hook? I think he was hooking too, wasn't he?
He was. He last I saw, he was in a good position. He was his body was in a good position.
Okay.
But like I said, he had pulled Bill Runkle down in PA, and before that, he had hurt his shoulder. So he was pulling like out of position, like not way the way he normally pulls. So he said he'd come home. He said, "Man, I hurt my arm pulling Bill." I said, "Well, then don't pull a New England's." No, I'm going to pull him. Like, you sure? He said, yeah. You get up there first round. You got up there with that monster from friggin' New Hampshire. Guy's just like bulldozer strong. He's a farm boy. And it happened. I believe he had a hairline fracture, which happens. You know, so he had one of the worst breaks I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
They took a picture of it, and all it showed was the one break of 2 inches above the elbow. And then they went to he ended up going to Yale, and by the time the doctor went inside, the whole bone was spiral fractured all the way up to his shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't go in. They were going on to fix that one little break. He's got a scar from the tip of his elbow to the tip of his shoulder, all the way up his back of his arm. Because they said the doctor, every time he touches another piece of bone was loose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which they couldn't see on the X-ray, you know.
Right.
So he's doing. He was doing good till he just blew his knee out at work. So he's supposed to be coming back.
Yeah. So we got a question in the comment section, and it's been repeated a couple of times. So this guy really wants an answer to this question. If you have absolutely zero injuries, given the chance, how would a 6-round super match between you and Devin Larratt go? And it says, can you beat him convincingly under the no king's move condition?
I don't know. I don't know. I would like to think I could.
Man, let me tell you a story. 2012 Toronto Super Show. There's a super match, best out of 7 with Devin and Tim, and I think Devin wanted best out of 7. First match, Tim wins fairly easy. Second match, Tim wins. And the third one, you almost pinned him, and then he held you up, and I guess your forearm pumped up, and then he took it 4-3. But if that was a 2 out of 3, you beat him. So I mean, and This was back in 2012, I think.
I beat him. I beat him the first round.
Yeah.
I got called double elbow fouls on the second round.
Okay.
On the pin. Both elbow fouls were on the pin.
Yeah.
So Dave called the pin, and Earl called the elbow foul.
Okay.
Third one I won. I pinned him on the third one.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened on the fourth round.
Okay.
Where they both pins, they called, I think at least one of the pins, they called an elbow foul on the pin. So it was one of those things where they, did it pin or did it elbow foul? Both those guys, I trust both those guys. I don't think whatever decision they make the decision because that's what they think.
Right.
That's truly what they think. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
By the seventh round, I had nothing left. The seventh round, I did peter out. Up to that, though, I was feeling real good with him. Beside the fact he was lined up on the back of the pad and I couldn't hardly reach him. Arms are so long, but I felt really good with him.
Yeah, I mean, any other day, different format, whatever, or even the same format, you could have had that.
Yeah. I mean, you said if the referees took one of those rounds that I lost on elbow fouls and they said that I pinned before, that's a judgment call. Like I said, I trust both those guys.
Yeah,
I have no problem with their judgment. That's their judgment. That's the way it is. There was no bias or anything like that.
No.
They called it the way they thought it. They saw it. So I have no problem with that. I felt good about the match.
Well,
sucks coming one match from being number one in the world, even if it was only for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. But. Question: who is the strongest person you have ever pulled against? I think I know this answer, but
Levin.
Yeah.
Levon, absolutely strongest person I've ever gripped up. And that Richard, before that, I would say with Richard Lupkus. But
so you put Levon against Michael Todd, what happens?
I think he destroys him.
Yeah?
I think so.
Even if Michael can initiate a King's move on him?
Yeah. I think that man's he does chin-ups with like a 300-pound weight belt on.
Wow.
I see him doing seated curls about a week or two ago with like 280 pounds. It's like robotic almost, the man is incredibly strong. I mean, nicest guy you want to, truly one of the nicest guys you want to meet, real quiet.
Yeah, I've met him. He's seems like a great guy.
Oh, he definitely is. But he's gotten so strong in the last 3 years. It's crazy, unbelievably crazy.
Well, he doesn't even look like the same guy from 2018.
No, God, no. They did like a little funny film of him without his shirt on at the pool in Malaysia, and all I can say, he looks like the Incredible Hulk. That's the way he's built. It's unbelievable. He's just strong. I'd say I hope Dave comes at 100%. I think Dave at 100%'s got a chance. But I don't know. That's just a tough match. That's if he wins, if Dave wins, he earned it. There's no doubt about it.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure Levon's going to the gym.
Well, they've probably constructed him a private gym somewhere to train at, and in his penthouse suite with his
penthouse.
Yeah.
Do you know where he lived before that?
Nope.
In Mom's basement.
Really?
He lived with Mom and Dad. They gave him that's one of the best places in one of the biggest cities in Georgia. They gave him that brand new penthouse.
All he's got to do is keep winning.
I'm going by Ev did. He got home. The first day he got home. He got 2 brand new big screen TVs. He woke up the next morning. He walked down his driveway. There's a brand new Toyota pickup in his driveway.
Yeah, I saw that.
Gave it to his coach.
What?
Yeah, gave it to his coach. They don't do nothing like that for us over here.
Nope. You win a world title over here, you still got to pay for your taxi cab.
They get $10,000 for a world title on the first one. My buddy had won a world title from Slovakia in UK. He went home, got $8,000 or $9,000, and that's from a poor country. Craziness.
Well, gents, we've been on here over an hour now.
Is that counting me trying to get on?
I think we've been on over an hour with you, even after you joined us, I think. So we should probably call it a day. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap the show?
No.
No, man.
Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Well, thanks
Stay
for coming on, man. Like,
If Sim could pick only 2 exercises, which would he do?
all right, let's throw that question in there. It's
Hands and forearms, wrist curls,
Wrist
wrist curls.
all right, cool. There you go, Dean. Tim, we appreciate you coming on, man. And man, stay safe down there.
Hey, when's Gabi gonna pull Ray Cody?
Oh yeah.
Anytime he wants to pay me to come down and pull him, it's a long ways. That's West Coast, but I don't think he's got a chance in hell actually. But he's got money to burn, so what the hell? It might happen.
I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
Yeah. What was he was talking about? Oh, Michigan State's. Was it Michigan State's? There's a tournament? No, Kansas City. He might be going to Kansas City. Ryan Johnson's tournament. So I might go.
USAA, Kentucky Muscle, right?
No. Kansas City. It's pull for the veterans, or what is it? Pretty big event. Mike Aiello pulled there last year. It's all the charity goes to military or veterans or something like that. So good cause. It's like a 15-hour drive for me. So it's the same to go to Michigan.
That's not really. I mean, I drive to the Arnold's. It's only like 11 or 12 hours when I go to the Arnold. I don't fly. No. So that's one I'd like to see that one.
Yeah. Who knows?
I want to see that match too. And the build up to it's going to be something else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're talking about who's fighting online. That would be a good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
I've calmed down lately. I haven't really been jumping on people. I just idiotic people that just fucking aggravate me. You got to say something.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Right. Thanks for coming, Tim. We appreciate you.
Take it easy, my friend.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Guys.